Welcome back to the Westfield Sports Show. I'm your host, Evan, and obviously this is not Aiden. He's taken some time to recover from a recent surgery, so prayers up to him, but the show must go on. I'm joined today by Callie Stigler to talk Westfield sports, and off camera is Rowan Elbert, and we'll be talking college football, basketball, and NFL. First off, let's talk about basketball season. It's underway, and it's successful thus far.
Girls basketball is off to a hot start. There's no doubt about that. They're 4-2 thrust this season, with an impressive win over North Central.
In their most recent win over Pike, Ellie Kelleher fired a 23-point performance, going 3 from 4 beyond the arc, and boasting a 75% free throw percentage. After 6 games, she leads the team in points and assists per game.
Someone else we should mention is Aubrey Crockett, who is forced to be reckoned with on defensive side. She currently holds the lead in boards and blocks, with 5 of her 29 on the season coming against Pike.
2 games make up the schedule this week for the Lady Rocks basketball team, the first of which being home against a very good Mount Vernon squad on Tuesday, and the second is an away game on Saturday at Warsaw. The boys team made a statement win on Saturday, defeating Kokomo at home in their first game since the loss to Kokomo, 47-39 at home in a thriller.
First half was kind of slow, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, Callie. Yes, it was. Going into the half, the score was 14-10 in favor of Kokomo. Both teams were very slow offensively to start, but after the halftime break, they picked up the pace. After a better third quarter, the Rocks entered the final 8 minutes down 2.
It was then that Westfield did what they couldn't do the first time around. They finished the game. They exploded in the fourth, putting up 23 points and held Kokomo to 13.
The comeback had been complete in large part to 2 things. One, the Rocks defense, which was as a whole on Friday night just phenomenal, and Alex Romack. Kokomo probably thought our center couldn't hit any of his free throws, but they were so wrong. Stats have not been posted yet, but I believe he only missed 1 or 2 free throws the entire night. Among the big performers on Saturday, there was Trey Buchanan with 15, the aforementioned Rome with 13, and Sam Bishop with 12. Overall, it was a much needed win to start the season.
The boys next play on Tuesday away at Pendleton Heights, and on Friday away at Zionsville to open up the conference play.
Swimming and diving for both guys and girls swam at the Brownsburg Invite. However, no results have been posted.
Wrestling competed at the Capital City Classic on the 21st, and they finished second as a team with 9 top 3 finishes, including 3 champions like O'Neal, Eli Rye, and Jason Rooney. They wrestle next at home versus Brownsburg on Wednesday and have the Shamrock Duels on Saturday at home as well.
Here's a graphic of all the events that are going on this week from freshman to varsity. All right, now we're at the point where we have to switch co-hosts, and that means we get to talk about other sports. I'm here with Rowan Elbert. Now, Rowan, being a Florida fan, what exactly went wrong in the game against the Seminoles? Was it the defense, or was it Anthony Richardson, or what was it?
You know, I feel like we would be here all day if I went with everything that went wrong, but really I think it all went down to the run defense. I think they could not contain Jordan Travis at all. His scrambling ability is unmatched, and it was just tough.
Man, in my opinion, I think the defense should have stepped up, but I digress. In other news, Purdue still owns IU. This isn't news to anyone. This is just facts. Purdue won 30-16 in Bloomington to advance to the Big Ten Championship on Saturday versus Michigan in Indianapolis.
Let's take a second to look over some rivalry games. And Mississippi State beat Ole Miss, North Carolina State beat UNC, and Kentucky owned Louisville. Georgia obviously beat Georgia Tech, and Alabama won the Iron Bowl.
I'll take the second half from here. Michigan owns Ohio State. Oregon State ruined Oregon's college football playoff hopes. A&M ruined LSU's college football playoff hopes. And Washington was victorious in the Apple Cup.
The last rivalry we want to touch on is South Carolina and Clemson. South Carolina did the improbable last week, and we know that. Defeating Tennessee is something that helped spark momentum for their coming into rivalry week. They went into Dabo's house and beat Clemson 31-30, gaining their second top 10 victory of the year.
Wait, did you say second top 10 win in a row?
Yep.
Well, that's funny you should say that, because Purdue actually got 2 top 10 wins in a row too.
Here we go again.
All right, Purdue won the Phil Knight Legacy Tournament in Portland over break, and they did so in incredible fashion. First, a win over West Virginia, which was expected, and then they dominated Gonzaga and then dominated Duke in the championship game. Zach Edey averaged about 22 points in the tournament, and the Boilermaker defense was stellar against some of the top teams in the country.
Okay, let's move on. I want to talk about North Carolina. They showed some signs of worry after their 8-point win against Portland, but after that, they completely fell apart. On Friday, they lost to Iowa State, which is bad enough already to lose your #1 ranking, but then they lost to Alabama in 4 overtimes.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that they fell apart. And oh yeah, the number 3 ranked Jayhawks of Kansas also lost to Tennessee. So, that's why I love college basketball. You never know what could happen on any given day.
Moving on to the NFL, I'm curious, Evan, who was your player of Thanksgiving?
Honestly, everyone was kind of mid. I mean, the games weren't mid themselves, but there was no breakout performances.
Okay, well, what was just this week then?
Man, I hate to say it, and I only hate to say it because I played against him in fantasy, but Josh Jacobs, I mean, he has that dog in him. He had 226 rush yards, 74 receiving yards, and 2 touchdowns, one of which was an overtime, game-clinching 80-yard rush.
I agree. That gave the Raiders a 40-34 win. Some other scores include the Chiefs beating the Rams 26-10, the Chargers edging the Cardinals out 25-24, and the Panthers stopping the Broncos 23-10.
All right, the Bills, Cowboys, and Vikings all won on Thanksgiving, and the Dolphins and the Bengals took care of their AFC South opponents. The Jets and Commanders got some home wins as well as the Browns and Jags, who also actually upset their favorite opponents, which is rather interesting. And the Eagles won a high score on Sunday Night Football. Any last thoughts from this week?
I mean, I know the episode's going to air on Thursday, and we're filming this on Monday afternoon.
Yes, we are.
And I might look really stupid saying this, but I guarantee tonight, Monday Night Football, the Colts are going to absolutely house the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Bruh. All right, I will hold you to that, and if they don't, then I'm going to kind of have to clown you for this. It's kind of what we do. Bruh. That'll wrap it up here from the Sports Desk. Stay breezy and go Rocks.